Hey everybody, kind of doing this video a little backwards. I'm going to do an intro real quick. Doing a video of this project is kind of a last minute thing. I was talking to my brother and he's mentioned, hey, you should do some how-to videos on the stuff you do in the garage, and I was getting my paint stuff together this morning and figured, hey, let's just throw the camera on my hat and do this. So I figured I'd do an intro. You can see the finished product first off here. We're just Duracoating an AR. Hopefully you guys catch some tips and tricks, maybe some of my lessons learned you can put to use and can help you out with some of your projects. But enjoy. This will be a multi-part video with covering prep work, getting everything ready, masking, and then laying down the Duracoat. And then we'll follow on later with a series of videos on assembling the AR. So I hope you enjoy. I've already Duracoated this magazine using Duracoat's Magpul FDE color, which after spraying it and then looking online is definitely not a match for Magpul FDE furniture. I'm mostly doing this magazine as just a color sample. Every color of Duracoat that I spray, I do a GI mag, just so I've got a reference. I'm just scuffing the surface with a Scotch-Brite pad here. In doing this, kind of makes me question Duracoat's claims of durability, because it comes off pretty easy with this, and this was sprayed, gosh, a month and a half, 2 months ago, so it should be cured fairly well. But you can see how easily it scuffs and how quickly it'll go down to the base. I do spray the Duracoat on fairly thick when I do it, which, you know, could make it take longer to cure, but that should be the underlayers. I'm going to be Duracoating my AR today, my SBR, that hopefully the stamp will be here this week. That was also previously Duracoated with the Magpul FDE Duracoat, and I scuffed it all with the Scotch-Brite, and then I went to soak it some acetone to make sure there's nothing left on there. Sorry about the interruption there. The wife came in the garage, which happens. I'm not sure where I left off. I think I was talking about, I had previously painted the SBR, or the AR, and obviously the color didn't match, so I Scotch-Brited it to rough up the surface, and then I was going to soak it in some acetone to make sure there wasn't any oils or anything and crud left on it. And the acetone started peeling up the Duracoat, pretty much anywhere where there was an open edge of the Duracoat. So I ended up completely stripping the Duracoat off. There's a couple nooks and crannies that I couldn't really get to, so if you can see down inside the engraving and stuff on the parts, that is why there used to be some Duracoat in there. But she's nice and clean now. Let's see, the first thing I'm going to do here is start masking off the areas of the parts that I don't want Duracoated. And I'm just going to start by doing a part here, and then I'm going to turn the camera off because it's kind of a slow process. And hey, this is my first how-to video, and I'm not comfortable doing it all on camera. So, you know, I like, as you can see here, I kind of do a little bit of automotive type airbrushing. So I'm using 3M automotive grade masking tape. And all the painting I've done over the years, masking tape I've learned that masking tape is not an area to go cheap on. Yeah, this automotive grade stuff is, you know, can get expensive, $4-6 a roll. But the quality of the tape, you know, the tackiness of it, and the quality of the edge you're gonna get on it is well worth the cost. The cheaper stuff, it's not gonna stick. The paint's gonna creep underneath your edges and just give you a lot of headaches that is not worth it. Let's see. I've got different widths here. I got some 1/2 inch. I use some 1/8 inch. I'm gonna also Duracoat this Primary Arms micro dot, and like that 1/8 inch is nice for masking off the setting numbers, things like that, or even starting an edge that you want a little more fine control of, you know, where it's going to be, and then you can overlap the 1/4 or the thicker tape to cover up the areas. You know, that's what I did on the lenses here. Well, there I started with the 1/8 inch and just used that 1.5 inch and rolled it over and then trimmed it. Here I used 1/4 inch, put the 2 inch overlapping, then I put another coat just to seal up the edges as good as possible. I don't know if you guys have ever done any airbrushing, but it throws the paint out pretty good, and overspray will get anywhere and everywhere you don't want it to be. I think I'm going to pack some putty into the mag release hole. That's the one spot that I found that was the biggest pain when assembling the lower, was that the mag release button stuck in there really bad. So I don't want any paint inside there, and I don't know if you guys have ever looked, that's a pretty deep hole in there. And I was able to clean some of the paint out up close, but not deep down in there. So it'd start, the mag release would start off smooth and then it would really stick in there, and I didn't like that. The other holes I'm not so concerned about because I can use a 1/4 inch bit, drill bit just by hand to clean that out, and I forget the size on there, but I've got the drill bit over on the workbench already. Trigger pin, and you know, that's not a big deal. You might notice this. I tried doing the high speed, tap a hole in the back of your receiver to retain the spring and detent, and I was one of the lucky ones that the tap snapped off. And I was using lube and all that. I think the big issue was that was like the 5th or 6th lower that I've tapped with that tap, and I think just that small tap had weakened over time. Well, after it happened, I sat there for like an hour just going through every drawer in my toolbox trying to figure out a way, like kind of in shock that it happened, that there's got to be a way to get that tap out, to no avail. So what I ended up doing was, I forget the website, but I found a product called Tap X, and it's like an acid solution that you use some clay and build a dam up around the hole there, and then you gotta cap the bottom end of it. And it took like 4 or 5 days of applying and cleaning and then reapplying that acid for it to dissolve that tap, and it did not harm the aluminum at all, if you'd be worried about that. I will say, the company that I bought it from, it's not cheap stuff, and then they charge you like $30 for hazmat shipping, and I should have called the company and complained. But when the package came UPS, there was not one hazmat label on that box. So I think they took my $30 in hazmat shipping charges and pocketed it and just shipped it regular, which is not cool if you ask me.